Hey, I'm Jordan, and I want to share a testimony about the power of God. I remember being in Mongolia with a team of young people. We were going to share the gospel, going to reveal God's love to people that may have not heard before. And we were in this remote village up in the mountains of Mongolia. And we were invited to this small house church, and we were praying for people that needed healing. And there was one lady that was on these crutches. She'd been on crutches for about 7 years. And she was sitting on this stool, and we were gathering around her, and we were praying that God would heal her, commanding her leg to straighten and become well. And we're getting her to test it out, but nothing was happening. No healing power was apparently flowing. And so I remember praying and asking God, what do we do? Is there anything hindering this healing? What popped into my mind was just the word unforgiveness. Was that God? Was that me? Did I make that up? I wasn't sure, but I said to the translator, does this lady have any unforgiveness? Is there someone she hasn't forgiven? So the translator spoke to the lady in Mongolian, talked about that, and then I saw this lady get up off her stool and hobble over to the other end of the room where there was a guy standing there, and they started talking in Mongolian. I couldn't hear what they were saying. We just started praying for the next person. Then a few minutes later, I see at the back of the room the lady turn around, finish her conversation, and start walking back across the room. And after she takes 2 steps, she falls down on her knees and starts crying. And she started crying because those first 2 steps, she realized her leg was completely healed. That just by forgiving, I found out later that it was her brother, that he had done something many years ago and she hadn't forgiven him. And in that moment, she forgave him. And because she released that unforgiveness, the block was removed and God's power was able to come in and heal her leg. And actually the next morning, I would get up early and go up the top of this hill and pray. And normally there's no one else up at this time. It's a silent village up in the mountains. But the next morning, I see this person, 2 people, this person and a younger person coming. And as they get closer, I realize it's this lady and her son. And they're coming for a walk up the hill, which she hasn't been able to do on these crutches for 7 years. And now she was completely healed. So I just want to testify to God's healing power, the power of hearing God's voice, the power of going into all the world, and that God loves everyone everywhere and wants to see them restored.